Welcome to my channel YouTube. It's your boy Steven, and in today's video we're going to be going over everything that I carry in my tool bag as a second-year electrical apprentice. This is everything that I use to get the job done on a day-to-day basis. So it'll be a pretty cool video. Hopefully it's informative for you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you guys do, hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button, and let's get into it, y'all. Let's go. First, I want to say happy Father's Day to all of the fathers out there, y'all. Everybody that's in their kids' life, you know, and leading by example. Happy Father's Day to y'all. Hopefully y'all enjoy the day. Also, today is June 15th. It's your boy's birthday. I turned 33 years old today, so it's a blessing. Just grateful to, you know, see another year. I'm starting to get some gray hairs in my beard and stuff like that. So, you know, your boy getting up there, man. But all in all, just a blessing. Just grateful, you know, to be able to see another year. So, but like I said in the video, man, we're gonna go over a full review of everything that I keep in my bag. We'll start with the bag. This bag right here is the Milwaukee Ultimate Job Site Backpack. I got this when I first started my apprenticeship, probably about 3-4 months in. I got it on sale at Home Depot for $80. I've seen them go on sale for like $89 to $99. I haven't seen it go back to $80 yet, but I still think it's a pretty cool backpack to have. You know, they have many variations from different brands, but this one in particular, I'm happy to have. You know, I keep everything in here. I keep all of my stuff nice and neat and organized because I like to be able to know all of my things are in my backpack when I need them. So yeah, we'll start with the bottom compartment right here, and we'll go over everything that's in it and why I use it, and let's get into it, y'all. Let's go. Now, starting with this bottom compartment, as you guys see, I have a few things in here, and we'll start with number one. The first thing we'll talk about is my plug tester. This is the one that I got from Klein. I've had this for about 2 or 3 months. I used to have the Cobalt one, but I wanted to upgrade. This one right here has a GFI testing on it, and it just lets you know all of the voltage and anything like that with it whenever you want to verify it. So this is a cool little tool I have just for emergencies. Next thing I have is my level. I got this level when I first started. Also, you know, whenever we're bending conduit and things like this, this always comes in handy whenever you're putting up panels, transfer switches. You want to make sure everything is level and nice and neat. And this Klein level is one of the best. It's pretty steep. I think this was like $30, but you know, it's a level. You know, I didn't want to get one of the cheaper ones. And this one's been working well with me so far. I've dropped it a few times and I haven't had any problems. So all in all, I think it's a good level to have. Y'all want to check it out. The next thing we have is my Klein precision screwdriver set. I got this particular set right here because we installed generators a lot last year, and I was a part of doing that. Whenever you're doing the control wires and things like that, you're gonna need those small screwdrivers. I was also helping doing the AC work, you know, and dealing with the thermostat wires, and you know, you need these little small bits when you're working with those wires. So it's a pretty little cool tool to invest into. I think this was like $30 if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I enjoy it. I use it still every day whenever we're working with that type of stuff. So I think it's a pretty cool tool to invest into. The next thing in this bottom compartment will be my tick tracer. This right here is the Fluke tick tracer. I used to have an old Cobalt one that kind of gave me some misleading readings. So I decided to upgrade and get this one. This one works really, really good. Unfortunately, when I got it, it was like $40, but I've seen it go on sale for like $20 on Amazon. So, you know, that hurt a little bit, but you know, it's all right. You know, I still think this is a pretty good tool. You know, Fluke has some great things, and I'm just happy to actually have this. I don't use this all the time, but when I'm in a tight spot, I just need to see if something has voltage real quick, I'll pull this out. But most of the time I'm using my meter to verify everything. So it's a pretty little cool tool to have. You should check it out also. Next thing I have in here are gonna be my unibits. I have these particular model. I got these from Harbor Freight. This is a pretty cool model. I got these on sale for like $9. I think typically they're like $18.99. But these unibits come in handy all the time whenever you need to open up a bigger hole and things like that. I used to use these a lot when I was building my poles. If I didn't have hole saws, these came in handy a lot. So yeah, unibits is a pretty little cool tool to have. All brands have them. But I wasn't going to spend like $60, $70 on one of the Milwaukee ones and things like this. Harbor Freight hooked me up with these, and I probably had like 3 sets since I've joined the trade, and I kind of refresh them every 6 to 8 months. But cool little tool to have in your bag just in case. You never know when you might need it. My next tool will be a protractor. I got this particular one. This is the Klein protractor. As you guys can see, I really enjoy having this thing. We use this whenever we bend the conduit and you need a specific angle that the building's on. Sometimes it might not be an exact 90, and this thing right here will let you know exactly what degrees you need to bend it on. So it's a pretty little cool tool to have. I think this one was like $20 if I'm not mistaken, but I will put the price up for you so you can see it. But yeah, I'm very, very happy to actually have this one, man. finally. I probably use it about 3-4 times, but it'll definitely be something I use throughout my career. You know, I try to take care of my things so I don't have to buy the same thing over and over again. But yeah, this protractor is pretty cool. Check it out. Definitely looks something cool to have in your bag also. Last thing I have in this compartment is my trim square. I normally use these whenever we're using panels and I need to knock out holes. I want to get the exact lined up for all of the conduits that I have coming on the bottom part of it, or the top, whatever side it is. I just want to make sure they all leveled and are the exact same, and this comes in handy. I got the Milwaukee one, but they sell different brands, different models. Harbor Freight has some of these for like $2 or $3, but I'll link the exact price for this one also. But yeah, so trim square, these definitely come in handy, so you should check this out. That's gonna be everything in this compartment. Now we're gonna go to the top one and discuss everything we have in that one. Let's go. Now starting with my top compartment, this is what I have in there. As you guys can see right here, starting off, I have my little Milwaukee knife. This is the one I keep on me. I have about 2 or 3 knives now. I didn't used to keep knives until I became an electrician, so these come in handy all the time. Next thing I have is some little jumper cables. These come in handy. I use these a lot when I was doing a lot of the AC work. But it's something I think is pretty cool to have, you know, just in case you might need it. I also have my marker, my Milwaukee marker. I lose these things all the time, y'all. It does not matter if I write my name on it, somehow, some way, they all come up missing. I don't even like buying these things anymore. The last 2 things I have left in here are my extension bits. As you guys know, whenever you're going in deep panels and stuff like that, these extension bits always come in handy. So yeah, that's all I really keep in here. I try not to keep it too packed up. I normally have my pencils in there too. But those are all at the shop in my other bag. But this is everything in this compartment. I try not to keep it packed up, but yeah, you know, it's pretty cool, pretty simple little spot to have a little few things in here. It always comes in handy, but let's move on to the next one. Now, as you guys can see on the side of my backpack, this is where I keep all of my tape. I'm hanging right here, and I have all of my tape, black, green, and white. These come in handy. I always make sure I have some tape on me. But this little section right here, I think is pretty cool to keep all your stuff on. I haven't had any issues with it at all. It hasn't broke anything like that. I actually like this on there. It's pretty cool. I like this. Also, the next thing about the backpack, on my side pockets, as you guys can see, typically I keep my gloves on one side. These, you got to have you some gloves out there in the field, y'all. I have a habit sometimes of not wearing them, and my hands have definitely shown, but I definitely try to use them when I can. Sometimes, man, it gets a little hard using those gloves in certain situations, but definitely having gloves will definitely protect your hands, because we know we need our hands to be protected, and I hate getting cut and all that stuff on my hands. But yeah, these little side compartments are pretty cool. You can stick whatever you want to in them. This is something that Milwaukee has in a lot of their backpacks, and you know, I like it. Now on the other side of my backpack, I have my tape measure. As you guys see, this is the clip that it allows you to clamp it on. This particular one I have the Milwaukee tape measure. This is the Milwaukee 25-foot magnetic one. And not only is it magnetic, it also has a flashlight on it. So I think that's pretty cool. I wouldn't have thought she would have needed a flashlight on a tape measure, but hey, you know, they come up with all different stuff nowadays. So I'm definitely happy to have it, and definitely happy to have it for that price. Now that we discussed all of the outside compartments, now it's time to go into the big section. This is where I keep everything at. So let's get ready to open that, y'all. Let's go. Now in this section right here, I have my 2 zippers. Let's open these up all the way. And I try to keep this as organized as I possibly can. It definitely gets hard, but as you guys can see, this is what everything looks like. Hey, you know, I try to keep this as organized as I can. Like I said, this lets me know when stuff is missing, because I'm like, oh, this is supposed to be here and stuff like that. But we'll go over all of these tools that I have in here, and you know, why I use them, you know, and what are they helpful for. We'll start with the hand tools and just do a quick rundown of everything. Starting with number 1, we have my cable cutters. These are my Klein cable cutters right here. If you guys didn't know, I found these at the pawn shop for $20. I love these things. You know, I couldn't afford an actual Klein ratchet cutter, but the cable cutters definitely came in handy. And it's definitely a good tool I think you should have in your bag. Number 2, in this section, I have my crimpers and my alignment pliers in the same section. As you guys know, crimpers, we use these to crimp wires and things like that. This particular model right here also has the strippers. You can actually strip wire with this one. These right here are going to be my alignment pliers. I've had these since day one. I love these things. These are my babies, like I always say. Definitely some good tools I think you should invest into. In my third section, I have my strippers. I have two different ones. These are my original Klein strippers that I got when I first started the trade. I need to upgrade these because I have a little arc in them. But hey, I use these on a day-to-day basis. And this particular model right here, one of my coworkers gave me this Milwaukee one. I love this one. It's a lot sharper. I'm able to cut a lot more with these. But yeah, I use these all the time. You're gonna need some solid strippers, and I'm happy with the two that I have. In the fourth section with my hand tools, I have diagonal cutters right here, and I have my needle nose. Still to this day, I typically don't use my needle nose a lot at all. It's been rare when I've had to, but it's still good to actually have them. My diagonal cutters, I use these all the time. I like these. These are a pretty cool tool. That's gonna be it for my regular hand tools that I use. In this last section that I have, these are gonna all be my crescent wrenches. I have them all the way from 6 to 8 to 10 inches. This one right here is the 6-inch one. This is the crescent wrench right here. I got this in the 10-inch one in a pack together. I actually had an older gentleman who used to work at the shop. He actually gave me this 8-inch one. This it's called Baco. I'm not sure if y'all have heard of that brand before, but I use these. These are pretty cool. And this is my big 10-inch one right here. I've used it a few times, not a lot, but it's definitely good to have because, like I said, being an electrician, man, you really just don't know, what situation you're walking into when you're doing jobs and things like that. But those are going to be it for this whole section right here. This is kind of how I keep it organized, nice and neat, so I'll know if something is missing. But yeah, this is kind of how I keep it. Now you see this little see-through area right here. In this particular area right here, I keep my stubby. Or any pencils and things like that, but I have my stubby in there for right now. This is the Klein 8-in-1 stubby screwdriver. I love this thing. I've probably used it about 4 to 5 times, but I was in situations when I needed it and didn't have it. And of course, like I said, when you get something, you typically don't end up using it. But it's still something I'm happy I had. I think it was like $15 to $20. I'll put the exact price on that for y'all. That's gonna be everything in this area. Now we're gonna work our way back to this section right here and go through the rest of my screwdrivers and everything that I keep in here. So starting on this side right here, I have my Milwaukee bit section. I had this section probably for about a year and a half now. This is everything that comes in it. I've lost a few things, especially my 5/16. We use those all the time. But yeah, this thing right here comes in handy all the time. I use these whenever I need to change bits and things like this. This is definitely something you should have in your bag, or at least close near to you. But this is something I keep with me all the time. The next thing that I have some drill bits. I actually upgraded these because, man, my 1/4 inch and 3/8, I kind of just ran those down, and it was cheaper to buy a whole new set than to buy those individually. So that's what I did. I basically just got me some new drill bits. You're gonna need drill bits all the time. I burnt mine out a lot last year doing the generators, making the holes and things like that. So yeah, drill bits are gonna definitely come in handy for you if you're in this trade, and this is something that's definitely helped me. The next thing I have in here are some paddle bits. This is from Diablo. This is the 10-piece set. I actually just got these. I wanted to get them for a very long time, but I didn't have the extra money to get it. But Diablo has some great things. I like their product, especially when we use them for my Sawzall and stuff like that. They have some good quality things, and I like Diablo. But definitely spade bits come in handy whenever you need to make holes, especially in wood and things like that. It's something good to have. Diablo, like I said, check them out. I'm not sure if you guys use them a lot, but I've tried them and I like them. So check out Diablo, man. They got some good stuff. On to the next one. Let's go. Next thing we have is my Fluke meter. This particular one right here, I have the Fluke 374 model. I got this one from the pawn shop for $180, y'all. So definitely, man, like I always tell y'all, look at the pawn shop, man. They got some good deals on some stuff. Hey, man, don't be afraid to negotiate with them, Like I said, this one was brand new when I got it. As you guys can see, it's still in pretty good condition. I try to take care of these things. This is my first Fluke, and I'm happy to have it, grateful to have it. And yeah, man, definitely you want to get you a meter so you can test and verify things. I trust this thing with my life, and I use this every day, no matter what we're doing. So yeah, definitely want to get you a nice meter to have just in case. You just never know. You just never know. So the next thing we have is a hammer. I keep this in here. This particular one, I just got a new one because my last one broke on me. This is the one I got this from Harbor Freight. It's the Pittsburgh model, 16 ounces. It's a pretty cool hammer. It's just a hammer. I wasn't gonna spend $40 and $50 on a hammer, y'all. I know they have certain brands that, you know, they have those things, but it just wasn't in my budget, and I just didn't think it was, you know, worth it to do, you know. It's a hammer, so a hammer does what it needs to do. The next thing I have in here is gonna be my sheetrock saw. I have the Klein sheetrock saw. Definitely happy about this. I didn't actually get this one until maybe like 6 months ago. Throughout my entire apprenticeship, I never really had a sheetrock saw. I used my Journeyman's, and now I have a little oscillating tool that I got from Ryobi that I use. But this sheetrock saw definitely comes in handy. I used this on one of the last panels that we had to upgrade. You guys probably seen it in one of my videos, but definitely sheetrock saw, you're gonna need this no matter what job you're doing. It comes in handy all the time. So definitely something I think you should have in your tool bag. And the final thing for this particular section right here, I keep my impact with me. I have the Milwaukee M18 Fuel. I typically keep this in my backpack. I normally leave my drill and things in my other bag, but my impact I keep it here all the time. You know, we always use these things. I love this Milwaukee one. It would have been cool if I had the M12. The M12 would have fit in there perfect. It wouldn't have took up as much space, but this fits in here pretty well. It's not too bad, but you definitely want to get you a nice impact, you know, in your bag. But I really hope sometime in the future I might be able to swap over to the M12 and use that whenever I'm doing like the smaller jobs, and my M18 stuff when I'm doing the bigger jobs. But that'll be in the future, y'all, one thing at a time. But let's move on to the rest of my screwdrivers and everything else I have in here. Let's go. Now that we're at the back section, we'll start right here. This right here, my grandfather actually got me these. These are going to be the Klein insulator screwdriver set. I love these things. I have been wanting them for a very long time. My grandfather asked me if it was something that I needed, and I told him these, and you know, as being a grandfather, he looked out for me, so I'm very appreciative about that. But yeah, these insulated one, I got the one with the exchangeable bits because I didn't want to have everything taken up in my space. So this one right here, I can just actually keep in this little compartment just like this, and you know, I have any bit that I need, square head, Phillips flat head. You know, it's just something that I feel like won't take up a lot of space, and that's what I try to make sure my bag is not like that, because I want to be able to get things when I need to and not have to sit and look for them. So definitely want to get you some insulated screwdrivers. Next thing we'll start with, I have my channel locks right here. These in particular, my dad actually gave me these right here. I kind of put tape on them because the old handling kind of fell off. And this is the actual one I got for the channel locks. These are pretty cool. I use these all the time, taking off stuff or tightening things, connectors, you know, couplings, weather tight couplings and stuff like that. We always use channel locks and things like that. And it's just something good to have. You know, I'm really, really appreciative to have these, especially, you know, still the ones I have that my pops gave me. So appreciate you, pops, for these. Love you, man. But yeah, let's move on to the next thing. Now we're gonna go to my beater screwdrivers. This one right here in particular, my dad got me this black one. I got this when I first started my apprenticeship, and I actually went and bought this Klein model. But this Klein model one is on its last leg. I don't know, I was beating it and somehow it ended up cracking. I'll show you guys the crack. And basically I just put like some super glue on here and kind of holding it together until I'm able to buy me a new one. But I'm making it work. I don't know how much longer it has, but I need to get me a new one. But yeah, you're gonna definitely need you some beater screwdrivers when you're trying to tighten lock nuts and things like that, or just knocking out, you know, 1/2 inch holes, 3 inch holes, whatever it might be. You're gonna always need you some beater screwdrivers. You're gonna always need some beater screwdrivers. This particular one right here, I was very happy to have. This right here is more of like for brick and things like that. Whenever we're going through panels and, you know, we need to go outside, this kind of helps a lot to chisel the brick away. As you guys see, you're able to use your hammer or Kleins, whatever you might need to actually beat it. But I actually love this thing. They actually come with 2 different bits. This one right here also has this one. I'll show you guys, and basically you just interchange them. You just squeeze it down, put it in there, it kind of locks in, and I like it. You know, this was like $30 though, but it hasn't given me any problems. Didn't seem like it's gonna break. Hopefully it doesn't break. You know, I spent $30 on it, but yeah, I actually like this, and I think this is something cool to have. You know, instead of me having like a big chisel in my bag, this one, you know, I'm able to just put it in my backpack, you know, and just move on with it. So it's been working for me, but you let me know what y'all keep in y'all backpack and stuff like that. But let's move on to the next one, y'all. Let's go. Now the next thing we're gonna start with is my multi-nut driver. This is the Klein model. I got this one when I first started my apprenticeship, as you guys probably should know. This one right here should be like $29.99. They've come with different variations with this one. I actually like the one with the feed through. Hopefully I can get that one day. But so far I just been using this one. This helps all the time, you know, 5/16, quarter inch, 9/16. You know, I love this thing. This is what I've been using. I haven't had any issues with it. And like I said, I try to get things that don't take up all of the space in my bag. So yeah, I'm just happy to have this one also. Next thing we're gonna move to is my Klein's reamer. If you guys are doing conduit and things like that, you know you have to ream your pipe. And I got this particular one, I think it was from Home Depot or Lowe's for like $34.99. I love this thing. My journeyman had one, and I got tired of asking him could I use his every time I was bending pipe. Even though I don't bend pipe that often as I would, you know, like to. But when I do, you know, I have my own tool to actually ream it out, you know, and clean it out like that. So definitely happy to have that one. This next one will be my 11-in-1 screwdriver. Like I said before, this thing come in handy. It has different bits. I try to get all of my stuff in magnetic to make sure that it you know, it sticks, because you know when you're in those tight spots and you need your screws to hold on to it, if it doesn't have a magnetic bit, man, you're gonna be in trouble. So I try to make sure all of my screwdrivers have that magnetic bit in it. And yeah, I like this thing. This thing comes in handy. And I like Klein screwdrivers in general, man. I don't know what it is about the grip. The grip is what I'm used to, and I'm, you know, happy to have it. I've tried other brands and things like that, but I like the Klein ones. The next thing I have is my 8-in-1 HVAC one. Like I told you guys earlier, I kind of helped out doing HVAC sometimes here and there, and you know, this one came in handy to use whenever I'm doing HVAC calls or whatever. So I like this thing. This one was a little steep in price, especially for me not to be using it as much, but all in all, you know, I got it now, so you know, I can't do anything about it. But definitely a tool I enjoy having. Yeah, if you do HVAC stuff, definitely think it comes in handy. So this next one will be my square head screwdriver. Now these square head screwdrivers come in handy. You know, mostly we use these in panels, or some breakers, you know, they have you have to use your square head. I think Klein sells this particular model for like $7, so I don't think it's too much. So if you don't have one, it shouldn't be too expensive for you to, you know, invest into it to kind of help you guys out. But I like this square head, you know, I really enjoy it. And yeah, that's it. At the bottom part, I have 3 little screwdrivers right here that I typically keep. This is my other flathead that I have. This is more of the thicker one. I like this one. It's like my beater screwdriver, but this is a little shorter. I have my Phillips screwdriver right here. You use this all the time. And I have my thin flathead that comes in handy all the time also. Screwdrivers, man, I have a lot of these, you know. I try to keep the multiple bit ones, but you know, these are the 3 I always keep in my bag also. Now, as you guys can see in this hidden compartment at the back, you open this is what I keep my Allen wrenches in. I have the Klein model Allen wrenches, and I love these things. I like the T-handles also, but so far I've just been using these. Maybe in the future someday I'll get the T-handles, but I like these because I can just able to put them right in here and they don't, you know, they don't do anything, you know. So I'm happy about that. But I'll show you guys a full view of how it all looks inside of the backpack. And these are all of the sections and compartments in it. I try not to make it too full because I don't want my backpack to like fall over or rip or tear. Like I said, it was $80, so I do try to take care of it. I don't want it to, you know, blow out on me. But yeah, you know, that's everything that I have with it, you know, so I like it, you know, I'm happy to have it. But yeah, that's it. So that's gonna wrap up everything that I carry in my day-to-day bag as an electrical apprentice. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully it was informative for you guys. All of you new apprentices out there, you definitely don't have to get all of the stuff I have, but this is I just wanted to share with you guys some of the things that I do have and some things that I thought would be helpful for you. Like I said, they have different brands, different prices for your budget and things like that. So yeah, if you guys would do anything different or would add some tools or take some out in the tool bag, let me know in the comments below. We can discuss that. Just tell me what y'all thought about how I got everything set up and would y'all do it a little different. So like I said, if you guys enjoyed the video, y'all, hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one, y'all. We out.